All right, hello guys. So in this class now we'll be talking about two things. One of those things will be ternary operation, while the other one will be switch statement. So both of these two things, we use them for conditional. So that means if it's not the only condition we have, you have ternary and we have switch. So let's start with ternary operation. So basically ternary allows us to check if statement, but on a reduced line of code. So if you want to check condition but you don't want to spend a long line of code like that, just the way you see if statement, where you say if something, right, then you print the scope, then you check the else. So this is like it's taking multiple line of code. So let's say you want to do this same thing but with less line of code. What do we do? Right, of course everything we have to be in a function, void main, this whole thing. Then now let's say I want to check, let's say I have string, right? Then the string is a name. Then I want to check, I have the name as Ademola. Then this is what I want to do. I want to check if this Ademola is empty. This name, it has some characters A, D, E. I want to check whether name is empty. What do? I'll say if, if I want to check, use if statement. I'll say name, right, dot is empty. And we've not talked about this thing before, but whenever you have something like, I think we've talked about it before, right? So you can check something that's attached to a string, like it's empty, is not empty. I want to check the length and some other things like that. So if I want to check whether it is empty, right, it's more like you want to check a condition that is attached to name. So we want to check whether the character is empty. So if name dot empty, I want to print it has no characters as an example, right? Then I want to check else, and in the else I want to print there are characters as an example, right? So this is just more like checking condition. Make a factor the code. Send this up. So when I run this code now, what do I get? Okay, we have some errors, meaning that we are supposed to close this. So that's more like the way you fix your code. So when I run this code now, let's see what we have. So now name dot is empty. I'm trying to check whether there are characters, means that this condition is empty, is false, so it's running this else, means that there are characters. But it's like writing this code in multiple line of code. Isn't there a better way we can write this? Yes, there's a better way. So let me clean off this whole, as programmers we are kind of lazy and we like to do things in the easiest way possible, or it's actually ideal when you can actually write, if you and someone else applies for a job, they will employ somebody that can do it in lesser line of code, that can do the same thing in lesser line of code. So if you can do something in 500 line of code and that person can do it in 1000 line of code, they will hire you that can do it in 500 line of code, because companies are looking for developers that can save their server space, by writing little code. So how do we write ternary operation? Now the way we write ternary operation is using this way. When we write it under a condition, a comment, you pass a condition, and the condition has to be a bool. Of course, when you check condition, it must be a bool. Then when you check the condition, you will print something, then else you will print another thing. You can see how you print the first one. There have to be a comma like this. You print this, and this semicolon here is like an else statement. I don't know if you understand. So if this condition, print this, else print this. So that's what we are saying. So now name, and of course everything has to pass to a new, right, variable. So you have to equate everything to a new variable like this. That's what we are saying. Let's say my new variable is check name. You can name it anything, and then I want it to be a string. Of course there has to be a data type, right? So string check name, I want to say equal to, now I want to pass the condition, and my condition here is name dot is empty, exactly what we did earlier. So if my name is empty, right, I want to print, you can see now, print. Now you don't have to use the print though, you just use the quote like this and then tell what you want to print. So let's say you want to print, in this you want to print there are no, right, characters, then we have an else another prints. So you just use the prints in form of quotes just to get what you want to get. Then you say there are characters like this, then you have this at the back at the end of the day. And you see now, you can see there are no error. And of course, once you are done, you can see the value of local variable check name isn't used. It means that you now have to what? Print the check name variable. Check name variable. So when I run this code now, you can see I did it in just 2 line of code. You can see the condition I checked earlier that I did in multiple lines of code, I was able to do it here in just 2 lines of code. That's exactly what ternary operation does. It allows you to do something in lesser line of code. I don't know if you understand. So let's say now we don't have any character in Ademola now, so it is empty. Let's check whether it is truly empty. Let's see what the outcome will be. You can see there are no character. So in this case now, this is true. So this condition is being met. So this is what is being run here. I don't know if you understand what we are doing here. So if at any point in time you don't understand anything, please drop a comment in the group so I will attend to it. Now the reason why we are doing this is that once I talk about the switch statement, we'll be taking our first assignment, which is something that would I will have to actualize. Because you can't really learn programming by just watching these videos. You have to get your hands dirty. So I'll just extend the switch statement to the next class. And so once I talk about switch, you guys are going to have assignment. And the assignment now, when you write it, it will be an assignment that will involve condition. You can write it with if, then you write it again with ternary operation, then you write it again with switch, which we'll be talking about in the next class, just to be sure that you understand these 3 concepts. So yes guys, I will see you in the next class. Thank you.